are united in diversity. We are very heterogeneous in our opinion.
We are doing this in our open democracies, discussing this all open and loud, and I'm not for that.
What is European Union? What is freedom? How we learn together?
The obvious question is, what is the EU doing? What is our plan?
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. My name is Sarah Wheaton. These days, I'm the agriculture and food editor at POLITICO and the host of the EU Confidential podcast. But many of you have known me for a long time because I started out here as a healthcare reporter. And so thanks so much for welcoming me home to this 10th POLITICO Healthcare Summit. It's a thrill to be here with you. I can't believe it's been a decade, and some of you I first met in Geneva, where we held some of the early editions of this gathering, and then there was a year that we went to Amsterdam to celebrate the new home of the European Medicines Agency. So today, I want to thank you for being here with us in Brussels, and if it's your first POLITICO Healthcare Summit, you picked a good one to start with. Can you raise your hand? And just any newbies here? Okay, great to see you. You'll see what the fuss is all about. And how about 10 times? Have any of you been here for all 10? I think there's somebody backstage who's been here for all 10. I don't quite make it. But how about more than 5 times? Anybody? Okay, there are a few of you. That's great. Well, we hope to get you all addicted, but for now, we'll ask you to get involved using the conversation, using the hashtag #PoliticoHealthcare. And this summit wouldn't be possible without the support of our leading partners, AstraZeneca, Haleon, MedTech Europe, and Sanofi, and our presenting partners, FPA, Johnson & Johnson, Lilly, and Sandoz. Huge thanks to you. And now I'd like to invite Helen, the healthcare editor, Helen Collis, to the stage. She's someone who helped me learn this beat when I first joined years and years ago. Helen, good to see you.
Good morning, Sarah. Thank you for joining us this year.
Oh, my pleasure. So, Helen, what are some of the common themes that have been running through these summits since 2015?
So I've enjoyed actually going back over the themes over the last 10 years. And actually, in 2015, back then, affordability and access to healthcare were the big topics, as they are still today. And the big drug that was challenging healthcare systems was Sovaldi, the hepatitis C drug that had just come onto the market. Very effective, but also with a higher price tag. Back in 2015, the Benelux bloc had just agreed to start the first joint health technology assessments as a way to try and manage these healthcare challenges. And the European Medicines Agency's Adaptive Pathways Plan was in discussions, and that was to really start to speed up regulatory processes for promising medicines and to try and get things to market and to patients more quickly. But drug pricing was very much on the agenda back then as well as a big challenge.
And have things evolved over the years?
Yes, so in fact, actually, a lot of the underlying themes back then are still very much driving the health policy agenda today. Balancing these industry incentives with patient access to new therapies arguably is still a big challenge, but today we've got a much more laser focus on competitiveness. We're looking today at how new EU policies can help balance this equation. So, for example, we've got health technology assessment at the EU level to try and align this access to medicines, as well as expanding initiatives such as joint procurement. Creating a life sciences ecosystem to deliver the treatments that populations really need has evolved. And there are some new themes in recent years, for example, really digging into, which we'll get into today, health security. So looking at how to shore up drug shortages, preserving health systems and making sure that they're very resilient to shocks, to demographic changes, war, climate change, really being able to respond to those things. How to respond to new developments such as the accelerating pace of AI developments and how to integrate those into healthcare systems safely. but also new discussions around other technologies such as smartphones and the internet and what impact this rapid spread of disinformation is having on health policy, but also the impact of social media on young people and their mental health. And then also the crisis in global health funding is very much a big health policy theme today as well, and looking at how to manage that, as well as the impacts from climate change, turbulent geopolitics as well. So lots of new themes 10 years since we first began this summit.
All right, thank you so much, Helen. I mean, Sovaldi, that blast, blast from the past. Okay. Let's get started now. Next up is Oliver Bisazza, the Chief Executive of MedTech Europe, who will give us some opening remarks. And then Helen Kaus will be back to interview Sandra Galina, the powerhouse Director General of the Health Arm of the European Commission. So for now, please welcome Oliver to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Oliver Bisazza from MedTech Europe, and that's the last time today you'll hear me say those words. Because today we're here to talk about more than just one sector or one stakeholder. We're here to talk about the bigger picture. How we all, by working together, can rejuvenate Europe's beautiful but fragile, beloved healthcare sector. And at the center of that conversation, it's not sectors, not systems, nor regulatory frameworks. At the center of that conversation is people. It's the patient, waiting patiently for a diagnosis that will change his life. It's the healthcare professional in search of the right tools so she can act quickly but safely. It's the researcher with the spark of an idea, dreaming of how that idea can turn into something tangible to affect someone's life. And yes, it's the policymaker who's just trying to get it right, to build rules and regulations that both protect and enable. Policymakers like Sandra, who's going to take the stage in just a few minutes. And all of these people, all of us in the room, whether we're patients, policymakers, physicians, researchers, insurers, we're all part of the same healthcare ecosystem. And the red thread that's running through that ecosystem is innovation. Innovation in healthcare today is nothing short of astonishing. We are standing in the 21st century at the crossroads between biology, data, and emerging tech, where things like artificial intelligence, precision diagnostics, and advanced digital tools are transforming the way we prevent, detect, monitor, treat, and where possible, cure disease. But innovation is not only about invention, it's also about translation. It's about getting those great research ideas into the real world and into people's lives. And ultimately, as we look forward, it's also about making sure that we deliver more sustainable healthcare that benefits rather than harms this fragile planet we inhabit. But that translation from idea to the real world often gets stuck between the lab and the hospital. Not because the ideas aren't there, nor because the tech doesn't work. Too often than not, especially here in Europe, the real issue is that the system is not yet ready to embrace the innovation and the benefits that it brings. And that's why, at Brussels level, it's more critical than ever that we design legislation around the benefits of innovation, be that in terms of the healthcare products or in terms of how we deliver healthcare to our fellow citizens. If we get that right, if we can build a framework which leverages the right kind of innovation for the right kinds of needs, Europe will be a place that truly leverages what it needs to in order to answer the incredible unmet needs we have today and tomorrow. And so, if revitalizing Europe's healthcare system is indeed our common goal, then revitalizing how innovation flows through our system must be part of the answer. So we all in this community have an incredible chance today to set a global example. With EU policies like the Innovation Act, the Artificial Intelligence Act, and the next research framework, we can design an ecosystem that rewards collaboration, reduces barriers, and helps innovation reach the people who need it the most. Doing this will strengthen Europe's competitiveness, but also its compassion, because granting timely access to needed innovation is an act of care. So let's make that happen. Let's align our energy, our policies, and our purpose so that Europe doesn't just keep pace with the future, but shapes it too. Thanks for your attention. Have a great 2 days of conference. I'm looking forward to the discussions ahead.